Good morning, West Acton. This morning I'm reading Greta and the Giants by Zoe Tucker and Zoe Pasico, and it's inspired by Greta Thunberg's Stand to Save the World. You might have heard of Greta, and if not, you can always have a look up on the internet and learn more about her afterwards. Okay. There once was a girl who lived at the heart of a beautiful forest. Her name was Greta. One morning, things weren't quite as they should be. Greta stepped out into the garden, and there, huddled together in the shadow of the trees, were all the animals of the forest. A soft, silvery brown wolf stepped forward with his tail low to the ground. "Please help us," he whispered. "The forest is broken, and we don't know where to go. The giants are ruining our home." The giants had always been there for as long as Greta could remember, but now they were worse than ever. They were huge, lumbering oafs, and they were always busy. They chopped down trees to build new homes. Then they chopped down more trees and built bigger homes. The houses grew into towns, and the towns grew into cities. They built factories and shops and cars and planes. They worked all day and all night until eventually there was hardly any forest left. But the greedy giants had forgotten how wonderful the forest was. They didn't see all the little bugs and butterflies and bears that trembled in the shadows. And no one told them to stop because everyone was scared of them. Everyone except Greta. "Will you help us?" asked the wolf. Greta looked around her. The animals looked tired and sad. She had to help them, but how? Then Greta had an idea. The next morning, Greta went to the middle of the forest and waited for the giants to come. She stood alone, holding a big sign. The sign said, "Stop." She waited and waited. On the first day, the giants didn't see her and lumbered on by, and on the second and the third too. But on the fourth day, something strange happened. A little boy who had been watching Greta made a sign and came and sat down next to her. He didn't say much, but Greta knew he felt like she did. Soon more people and animals saw what they were doing and joined in too. Before long, a huge crowd filled the forest, stretching out to the city and roads beyond. They stood together and waited. The crowd was so huge, and the giants were stopped in their tracks. "Please stop," Greta cried. "Your greedy behaviour is spoiling our home. You've broken the trees and trampled the flowers, and now the birds and bees have flown away. These animals are homeless, and our forest is dying." After Greta spoke, everything was silent. But then everyone in the crowd began to shout, "The smoke from your fires is choking the air, and please stop down cutting trees. You can help plant new ones and mend my home. We need to take care of our forest and live together. Will you please try?" they all said. The giants shuffled and fidgeted and stomped their feet on the ground. They were embarrassed and a little bit sad. You see, the giants were so busy building, they didn't see what they were doing to the forest or the animals who lived there. The giants felt terrible. "We're sorry," they said, and they promised to try harder. So from that day on, the greedy giants weren't so greedy. They slowed down and learned to sit quietly. They stopped working all the time and instead took up new hobbies. They stopped chopping down trees and learned all about gardening and living in the forest. They cooked, repaired, tidied, and shared, and before long, the forest became more beautiful than they could have ever imagined. Thank you for listening. Have a great day, West Acton.